I'm Thor Gunderson, and welcome to Just Asking for a Friend. By now, you know, it's the show we go out into the community and we meet content creators, collectors, sculptors, artists, people through all aspects of the collecting world. And tonight, we got a very special guest. He's our first guest that comes off of the mainland of the United States of America. He's the founder of Puerto Rican Statue Collectors. I'm talking about the only Dennis Perez. Welcome to the show, my friend. Hey,
Hello.
there you go. What's
Pleasure to meet
happening,
you,
man?
Thor.
Welcome. Appreciate it, man. The pleasure's all mine. It's good to finally meet you.
Thank you for having me here.
No, it's no problem, man. It's
it's good to meet you too.
I've watched you a lot on with Sick and Toy Quest and all these guys.
Thank you. Yeah,
no problem.
trying to make a name in the community.
Hey, well, it's working, man. I'm trying to tell you. I've seen you all over and pictures of the collection and everything. But so okay, Dennis, tell us where you from, where you grew up, and then like try to give us an idea how you got into pop culture, and then later on we transition into collecting and getting into statues.
Okay. It all started. Well, I'm from Puerto Rico, and it all started when I was in the supermarket and I saw an old Spider-Man comic book, and that really enticed me because I like drawing. So I like all the poses and the story thing. So I just bought it from the newsstand and took it home. Right there, remember when there was subscription to comic books that used to come up with a bag on top of them? Well, I subscribed immediately to the comic books, and that was my fever. That's been a long time. Uh, and right there, I started in music, movies, and drawing, but I really succeeded in music. But the comic books, it's been all my life. I got stacks and stacks of comic books in my house. That's my first love. So after that, I used to buy G.I. Joe figures, old G.I. Joe figures, the big ones with that had the Velcro, and I used to put them in poses. I used to put them in poses with Star Wars figures, small figures, and just leave them in the corner like a statue. So it all started like that. I'm like, wow, that looks cool. After that, I've always bought comics. So I sent comics, no figures, whatever. Then I started buying the McFarlane ones, the Spawns, and there I started like a small itch. Like they look cool. But I was small, no money, so I just stayed in comics after that. But then the pandemic hit here in Puerto Rico. The pandemic very hard. Uh, and a friend of mine, we used to speak every day by phone. He's from California, and he told me as a bet, "Why don't you go buy your first statue?" And I said, "Nah. Oh well, what the hell?" And I bought it. The first statue that I bought was the Logan from Daniel Bell from Slideshow.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and when I saw that figure and the details, I said to myself that it was worth all the money. So I start looking at all the videos from Jim Mint, Batman Statue Collector, DCX, and I got very, very into it. Too into it that I just left comic books and left the music for a time. Focus all my attention to it. Yeah.
So
Too
wait a
bad.
minute. So really you've
So
only been collecting
between
2 years. So you've only been collecting statues for 2 years. That's not long.
I've only been collecting statues since the pandemic.
Wow. And then you put together quite a collection
Yeah,
in that time.
I know.
Yeah.
Have a lot. Yeah, and a lot of people ask me how do I buy a lot of collection of statues. Is that before that in the music I used to collect guitars, and I had like 17 guitars, and very expensive ones. Uh, so I got ill, very ill. My blood got poisoned, and they put some injections in the hospital to bring me back to life. And that destroyed some of my motor functions and my part of my movement. So that really discouraged me from music, and I said I got to get into something because I'm gonna go crazy. Then what I did is I started selling all my guitars and all the money I used to get them to buy statues. Uh, so I invested what it had and all in statues. And to this day, I still got my guitars because some guitars because I play some, and I'm teaching my daughter. She likes arts too, so it's good to have music in the house and any type of arts, drawings or reading.
So wait a minute. Are we talking? Do you play like bass or acoustic, or is it just electric guitar? What kind of guitar did you play?
No, Spanish guitar and
Oh,
electric
Spanish guitar.
electric guitars. I was endorsed by Ibanez for a long time, and I had quite a collection. But that is then, and this is now. So
Right. Did you
it
did you
is what it is.
play did you play in any kind of group or no?
Oh well, I used to play with Puerto Rican artists here in Puerto Rico, teach music in an academy, and I used to play with Ricky Martin.
Oh
His
wow.
first, yeah, his first record, I recorded it. So if you hear that record, I'm there. So
Wow.
I've done a couple of things.
I see. That's impressive, man. So okay, now going to the comics for a second. So you mentioned Spider-Man. Would you
Yep.
say that's your favorite character, or
Nope.
who's your favorite character?
Well, I got two favorite characters,
Okay.
Wolverine and Sabretooth,
Oh,
because they're like
that's interesting.
superheroes and not superheroes,
Right.
and the duality.
Okay. And was it the
Yeah.
comics that made you a Wolverine fan, or was it the
Yeah. But
animated series, or what was it that drew you into Wolverine?
no, it was the comics. I mean, I got X Men since issue number 66 till now.
Right.
When he came out in the giant size one,
Oh yeah.
then I was like, okay, he was cool. So a friend of mine had the first issue that he came out in Hulk. Everybody says that the first issue is him against the Hulk, and that's the second one. The first one was the issue before that. They came in the last two panels. Uh, so gave those comics to me, and I started reading them, and then he grabbed my attention because he was like a loner, like I was in school, and he was like a misfit. So I felt a little bit like him. So when he joined the X-Men group, the mutants group, I took him as part as life. I really connected with them because I felt like misfit, a loner. I had my own thing going, and nobody liked what I liked. Because here in Puerto Rico, comics, I mean, they're not that hot, and collecting statues is not that hot. Everybody
Mhm.
here is like into other things, like beaches, hanging out, basketball, sports, basketball, baseball.
Well, I mean, I've never been to
So
Puerto Rico.
music too is different here. I like rock music.
Well, I could kind of understand
You love Puerto Rico.
the.
I mean, it's a
I
beautiful.
mean, what I'm saying is, I can understand some people not being in the collector because I mean, I've never been there. I've always wanted to go. A lot of beautiful women in Puerto Rico, man. So everybody ain't got time for statues.
Very true. Very true.
But I mean,
Very
still,
true.
um. So at first, did you just start collecting like X-Men, or was it just Wolverine statues, or when did you like branch out into other
Well,
things?
well, I think like every collector, I started buying every comic book that came out,
Mhm.
and when I started checking out Fantastic Four, Defenders, Iron Fist, and all those old comics, then I started into Avengers, truly Avengers and old Avengers and X Men and Thor. How he's supposed to be. I got very disappointed when I saw the movie, big time.
You and me both. Um, so you're not a big fan of the MCU, or
It's nice to see,
Mhm.
but I think the MCU is more for kids, more money friendly. Because I mean, if you read the comics, I mean, I've waited all my. Don't get me wrong, I've waited all my life to see live action, so I really appreciate it, even if it sucks like She-Hulk, you know. But they're not they're not at the comics. People are now into those superheroes, but when they read the comics, it's another thing. So you know,
Okay, so statue wise, when in the beginning, did you just collect like X-Men statues or just Wolverine statues? Like when did you start to like branch out to other pieces once you started collecting statues?
well, that was I bought from that Wolverine Logan. I
Mhm.
bought the rest. I got very interested in the artists behind the piece. So I started reading what Daniel Bell did, and thought when he did that piece, and that really got me into it. I got all the pieces that he did in Martin Canale too.
Mm,
So I started not by the piece. I started by the artist, and
interesting.
then yeah, and then
Mm,
I started buying different pieces. I mean, it's you can see a piece and it looks nice. It grabs your attention. But
mhm,
when you see an interview of the artist, what he did to do that piece or understand the piece,
mm,
you really tend to get like a better feeling, a better understanding of every part: the hand movement, the legs, how he's crouched, the back, the face expression. And it's like that's why from the Mythos line, from the new line, I bought the Ventress, the Darth Maul, and the Darth Vader because they
mhm.
were done by the
Go ahead.
Kirk
Go ahead.
brothers,
Yeah.
and you can understand the story behind. And then after that, I started buying Batman pieces that have his rogues and Batman. Really, I like the bad guys because to be a superhero, a good hero, you gotta have
Mm,
a better bad guy. So I
that's
think
true.
the heroes and the important things are the bad guys. If you don't have a good villain, you're not a good hero.
That's true.
So, you know, Star Wars is Star Wars, and it is what it is because of Darth Vader and the Sith. And X Men is cool, but if X Men didn't have, let's say, Magneto,
Magneto. Hmm.
they're nothing. They're another team. But yeah, Fantastic Four. If they didn't have Galactus,
Mm.
they suck. So I
Doctor
mean, like
Doom.
every yeah. So every villains for me are very important because villains really make the hero. And in real life, if you don't have bad people, you don't have cops,
That's
and you
true.
can't be good if there's not bad people. So that means you need bad people and evil to really be good. So you don't have to be good always, but you do have to be bad to have good. That's what I think.
I got you. So okay, so far as sculptor wise, would you say Daniel Bell is your favorite sculptor?
Right now, Daniel Bell is my favorite sculptor, but I'm getting more into the history of the sculpting because I've been 6 months today I've been streaming with a group in Spain called Kryptonian Collectors. And what we do is we interview sculptors.
Really?
And yeah, and right now, the 30th, we have in the same show Daniel Bell, Martin
Hmm.
Canale, we
Oh, wow.
got Pereira, we got Franco Carissimo, we got like six sculptors. And if and it's weird, kind of weird because all those sculptures, they speak. That's very interesting. How far the Latin culture can go and the presence.
I have noticed, that most of your very talented sculptors, I mean, they coming from Argentina and South America. I was like, man, like all these guys come from the same place, but they're all very talented. You know what I mean? And I just noticed that.
Yeah,
Martin Canale, because Martin Canale, he did the first Vader Mythos. You know,
yeah. Time to punish
and
him.
so I'm forever grateful for you to that, Martin. If I ever get to talk to you. So, what would you say your favorite Daniel Bell piece is that you or even if you don't have to own it, but like, have you seen? If you could pick one Daniel Bell piece to stand out from all the other, I know what mine is, but
To tell you the truth, the Captain America.
oh, okay, the sideshow one.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
wow.
my favorite one. Yeah, because it's a statue that says nothing and says so much. It's like the Silver Surfer. It's like
Mm,
the Flash. It's like the Batman Beyond. If
mm,
you see anatomically, they're perfect, and it's not that too dynamic. But if you stare at the piece, it's trying to speak to you, tell you something. So that's very important that a piece can speak to you. It can be very dynamic, and it's just a chunk of stone right there. But if the piece tells you something, then it grabs your attention. That piece really grabs my attention big time.
I hear you. For me, it's the XM
And what
Iron
is your
Fist.
favorite piece?
Just piece, period.
Oh, the Iron Fist. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
with Daniel
that's very
Bell,
good.
it's the Iron Fist, and because that one
He
he
has
just
a
captured.
bunch.
Yeah, I mean he's done this. I mean I was talking about it with King because King, that's pretty much his favorite sculptor too. Because he didn't even know he had all these pieces, and he didn't know that the same man was sculpting. And I said, man, you
Yeah,
really like Daniel Bell, and he was like, all these are that. I said, yeah, you know, and that Iron Fist to me, that's he captured a action moment. Like it just freeze. I mean, like to me, that's like the best freeze frame.
it's like a picture. Yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy. So and that's one of his older pieces, and that's to me, that's my favorite one that he's done and everything. So far as collecting in Puerto Rico, is it more difficult to acquire pieces, or is it more expensive, or talk
no,
talk
it's.
about like how it
I
is.
mean, to get pieces here in PR, it's very hard. I mean, the shipping now in the states and the mainland, as you say, you people say it's kind of crazy. I've been having those prices since the beginning. I
Oh
mean,
wow.
there's some pieces. I remember sideshow pieces being 350 or $400, and you used to pay that same thing as shipping. And I mean, it's very hard. If you want to ship, you got to be patient, work a lot to get the money, and the bad and the good thing of this hobby is that you collect for you, and you really appreciate the things yourself. But I think it's a lonely hobby because I
Really?
mean you can't just go out and speak to somebody. Hey, did you check out the new piece or this is coming out soon? Because people think that this hobby is like collecting toys,
Mm.
and they don't understand them until they come to your house and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, now I
Yes.
understand it."
I was about to say that because I've had that happen. Before I moved, I was in the basement, and my mother would tell more people about my collection than I would. And so one of my godmothers and godfathers came over. They said, we heard so much about this collection. And they said, let's go see these toys. They called them toys. And when they got down there, they didn't speak for about 5 minutes. And then
the Prince was like,
and that's when I still had XM Ghost Rider. And they just froze. When they got to that and the Vader Mythos, the first one, they just, they left. They were speechless. So I found that a lot. When most people come and they talk trash about them being toys and dolls, and when they come see them for real, they don't say that no more. So but I always like this to when people find out how much they cost.
That's true.
They be like, what? How much this stuff cost? But so also Puerto Rico.
You crazy.
Yeah, you crazy. Yeah. So you guys also had a hurricane come through. And talk about how that
Hurricane Maria.
Yeah, how did that affect life? And I'm sure collecting was almost impossible, to deal with.
Yeah, that time was very difficult here in I live in Puerto Rico at the National Caribbean Rainforest at Junque. So when the hurricane hit, mostly all the winds got concentrated in our mountains. So we got hit very hard. I mean, we were without water like for 3 weeks, without power. The whole island had no power, like for 2 to 3 weeks, and there was some sectors. We were like almost 5 months. Yeah, it was very hard and no food, everything. I mean, we had no food, no medicine, no water and light. Thank God I had my job. No gas. We had no gas like for a month. It was total chaos. But that shows you to appreciate what you have.
Exactly.
It isn't what you're going to get. It isn't what you're going to make. It isn't what you drive for. It is what you have. And what you have, if you're content with that and, tell God thanks for everything you have. It's a blessing. The small things. And you learn to appreciate and see life in a...
Yeah. It's, I'm glad you said that because we always I listen to I watch some of these shows and these guys come on, they talk about edition size and little stuff that people complain about in the in collecting hobby. And I just always thought it's just so superficial, especially what what you went through. It's like a lot of that stuff means nothing. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It just I always thought the bickering that we do about, high edition size and they releasing variants and little stuff people get pissed off of. I just always thought it was,
Why?
ridiculous.
Because there's a lot of people in the States and it's easier for you guys to move to county to take things. But let's say the third grader, I know it's a big edition size. Hey, but I have it. I don't care if there's one. I don't care if there's 1,000. I have it, and I'm happy. If you're happy having it too, hey, great. We all can win here. So but I do understand it's what people say about collecting, because I collect comics too. But in the end of the day, I mean, your collection is for you, not for anybody else. The ones who are going to have it, invest in it, see it every day, claim it is you. I mean, people, in getting it, the sacrifice, what you did, what you don't do. So even if it's a high edition piece, there's some sacrifices that personally I did have that piece. So,
Now,
I appreciate it.
is now you started the Puerto Rican Statue Collectors group on Facebook. It is how big is the collecting community in Puerto Rico? Would you say, like, as far as you know?
Well, right now, thanks to that page, I've made good friends in this and people that I didn't know, people that collect. I mean, like 10 minutes from me, there's a guy
Wow.
who has a house full of Star Wars, and I would never imagine that he would have that. And when he told me he had that, and the thing is, this is crazy. I know him for years. He used to be a wrestler. He used to be a wrestler. I worked with him when WWF came over here to Puerto Rico. I worked
What's
with
his
him,
name?
and his name is Carlos Velez.
Okay, Carlito.
And
It's
I know him.
Carlito.
Yeah, and
The dude with the hand.
I know
Oh,
the
yeah.
Applebite, not
Yeah, Carlito. Okay,
Carlito. That Carlito.
okay.
It's another Carlos. Long hair. He used to wrestle with mask on, and I never knew, and I never had the hobby. Know that he had this collection. Is that here in Puerto Rico, people have collections, but they say shit because they don't want people saying that he's crazy or demented or they're having all these things around. But I've met a lot of people. There's a guy in C that has 2 houses full of collection of horror. There's a guy in Bayamon that has his house full of hot toys. So I've really met. There's a guy here, even in Puerto Rico, that does collectibles for people who collect. Let's say he did this for me, and I didn't know that either. And I met all those people through this page. And I wrote down the Puerto Rican collectors because I want everybody in the States to know that we exist. There's a Latin community in Puerto Rico that collects, and they needed a voice. I appointed myself as a voice. I hope I'm doing a good job representing them. But I want the whole world. I want everybody from the collecting community to know that that we're not Indians. We don't walk around in small. We live in tippies, and we're not like savages. Puerto Ricans, we can do things too and collect.
Well, brother, I'm telling you, you definitely put them on the map because I've watched a few of your streams and everything, and I can tell you personally, you're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you.
And no problem. And so, are you more of a 1/4 scale collector, or you get into 1/3, or what's your preference with that?
Well, right now I collect 1/4 as statues go. I bought my first 1/3 was Franco Wolverine from the Game Brewers from PCS studio because I'm getting no more space, so I got to fill in the cracks. I got to still collect.
So here's something I was wondering because I was
in our studio. I think there are the new Bowen.
Really? What makes you say that?
I think so because I mean, Bowens used to do superheroes that now companies they don't do. You get stuck with all the Batman, Venoms, and Wolverines. But when Bowen was out, Bowen did different characters, all kinds of characters. And I think Iron Studio is doing the same thing with all their licenses. So
I agree. I never looked at it that way. Do you have some of their 1/10s or you just stick to?
Oh yeah, I got a bunch of the proximity pieces that are from the Sentinels from the X-Men.
Oh,
I
okay.
have the whole line of the Zack Snyder Justice League.
Okay.
I have like 10 figures of the Avengers. I mean, people, I know you gotta have like different type of dedication, what you can buy on narrow vision,
Hmm.
and because you can have everything. But I mean, the important thing is for you to buy something that you like,
Right.
even if the whole world hates it. But if you like it and it makes you happy, have it. If you can afford it, have it. I mean, when you die, the only thing, when you grow old, the only thing you can have is the memories of what you had.
Right.
And when you die, you leave things to your family. But after that, then what? It's good to appreciate and love your life while you're living it and have things that make you happy. Not, I mean, you gotta save and think about tomorrow. But the question is, if tomorrow never comes, I mean, you could be here right now. I'm streaming with you, and just go to sleep and don't wake up anymore. Then
That's
what?
true. That's true. That's a hard question to follow, but so but look, I'm curious now. What is from you've been collecting for a while now. What would you say your favorite statue company is? Like I see a lot of sideshow pieces. Is would you say sideshow is your favorite, or XM, or Iron Studios, or what would you say?
Well, right now, I would say that, I mean, I have two XM pieces.
Mhm.
That's the Superman Recovery Suit and Thor type, and they're great. I mean, they're great pieces. I got three Queen pieces in the back.
Okay.
Oh, they're downstairs. They're the museum line. They did of Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman. The trending.
Yeah.
But I like and I believe in Sideshow. I know people give a lot of hate to Sideshow, and they're not going to pan now. I know there's a lot of controversy in there,
Hmm.
but I think they're good statues. Good. I mean, they look good for what they're doing. Good prices of still affordable for the time being, and I mean, people like one thirds, point ones. They like the XMs, more boutique type of collecting.
Hmm.
Uh, they like Infinity Bus torsos, the Queen Bus. But I mean, you like what you like. I like Sideshow, and that's funny. I think I'm a sideshow boy, but that too because the up and coming artist that is doing the Yoda Mythos piece and let's say the Spy Bending R. It's a Latin guy that started in Slideshow right now, and since I've spoken with them and I've heard their different point of views, uh, I'm very loyal to them, and I'm a very loyal person, so I go with them 100%. Plus, I do think they're doing a great job when they want to. It's like everything. You got good and bad.
It's true, but I will say with them, to me, their customer service is second to none. The pieces, pretty consistent. There's some I
Very
think
true.
could be better, but for the most part, they put out, now they got Daniel Bell in there and Martine and everything. My only complaint with them is I think their packaging could be a little bit better. Like sometimes you come and you never know. But like the XM stuff, they got the straps and everything, and the boxes are pretty hard. So
Incredible. The
yeah.
strap. Yeah.
So if they clean that up, I mean, I think pretty much, they it wouldn't mean too much to. I mean, I guess everybody's complaining about the high distance sizes and all that kind of stuff. But is it difficult to get like display stuff in Puerto Rico? Like, do you have to order it from the mainland, and you guys got IKEA, or is it harder to get
Oh,
that kind of stuff down there?
yeah. I started with IKEA,
Uh-huh.
and we do have one locally,
Okay, good.
uh, like every collector. But now,
Right.
what I bought, not customs, but I bought the garage shelving.
Mm-hmm.
But those, I did a little work on them. I put some black felt on them, put some lights, reinforced steel. Cause I'm very nervous that, every day that I go to sleep, I pass through the statue room and see them, and every morning that I wake up, I pass through the statue room and see them. That everything
Right.
is cool. It's
Yeah.
cool, so I can have a good day.
Yeah, I think that's every collector's worst night. You in the bed and you just hear a crash. You're like, oh my God, what was that? You know. And but yeah, display it. I think a lot of people don't realize, like, when you start doing this hobby, how much construction is involved, like how much you're gonna be building this stuff and modifying and
And
flying.
it's not only buying the statues. That's
No,
part.
it's not.
Like I said, if you get a statue, you got to display it. You want to put it nice, even if it's for you. But you want that you have a vision and you want to see it nice, and then it has to collect and display. So that's like another part of the spending of the hobby. But it's fun. It's fun.
So now that you've been collecting for a while, how, like, the community as a whole, not just in Puerto Rico, how do you find the community these days as opposed to like when you first started? Is it more positive, or you can be honest, it's okay. Yeah.
Well, I find the community that it's very good. Is that it has embraced me. When I started out, I first met Cash, Gemini, Bay 21, and John in the same place. We streamed us together, just us, and we met each other and we spoke to each other. So we knew, like, there are the weird people around the planet, so like us. So it was cool. But right now, I think the community, it could be a little bit more drama free,
Mhm.
because I think there's drama right now, and we all should appreciate different point of views, and really work together to give not different voices, one voice of us. Because let's say we are a type of collecting community that is a niche community. Not everybody knows we exist. I mean,
No.
we know each other and we see each other, but it's not such a big community. It's the same people. If you see all the streams, all the same people are commenting. So that means if you see the same people commenting on all different programs, you can see that it's not that big as we perceive each other.
Mhm.
Is that we do not have a following, but they see that we all have a voice, so we all get together, and that's nice. It's like every other group. If we don't pull in together as just one force, and each one pulling to each other side, we don't get a decent voice, and everybody can just see us and accept us, and not really have to see our collections to do so. Because many of us are fathers, and we have kids, and we want our kids to feel proud of and like what we do, and they can feel accepted no matter what they like. So it's a way to teach people too. You can be and like what you like, and other people accept it. So it's you gotta take this to a bigger picture, not only statues, life.
I couldn't have said it better myself. So now this is going to be hard because everybody finds this question hard. If you could narrow it down to, I know most people can't narrow it down to one. What are your top 3 pieces in your collection? With your top 3 favorite pieces?
Well, a piece that I love, it's abomination to your taste, and it's a savor. But I think that Darth Vader, taking away the mistakes that it has. If you see the sculpt, it is sculpted really, really good. I mean, you can see the dynamic in the cape, the in the body. It's battle damage, but you understand the battle damage. The different spray paint, you can understand why it's there. You can understand the base and maybe fire, but he has another saber. So, I mean, if you see the big picture, I think that one is a nice piece. Another piece that I have is I have 1 to 2. This is my only and my first custom bust of Old Man Logan. It was done by our Argentinian sculptor that he gave it to me graciously, and I took it to paint to a statue painter in the other side of the island that exists. I didn't know he existed either. And then I found out from one guy who commissioned a statue. Then he was the one who was doing all the painting. So that was nice because he's a very good person. Plus, he knows personally, and thanks to him, I met last year Eric Sosa, the sculptor that started in Puerto Rican, then did a couple of things. Yeah. Then I think the other piece that is very underrated is I'm between 2. I like the Daniel Bell with the line bolt. If you see the details, I mean, there's no picture and no video that would give you the essence of the statue. But I think a very underrated piece is a Nightclaw. Yeah, if you see, if you go and take away the seam it had, and it had to have it. See the sculpt. I mean, the legs, the face, the body. We never got a Nightclaw like that in a long, long time.
Right.
Only Dustin Groups and one older one, I think was 1/5 Comic from Slasher. Yeah. But I think the new Nightclaw really embodies what the character is. Plus, when you see the Sentinel hand, it scales good to the body of the Nightcrawler. That does scale very good. So I think those pieces. But I really appreciate them all because they all art and they all speak to me. When you buy a statue, you got to buy a statue that speaks to you because it tells you something.
It's true.
So if you have like a statue that doesn't speak to you, remember a statue what it is. In the end of the day, it's a rock. It's a Paulson rock. So, I mean, the statue has something that speaks to you. And I think every statue does, because every statue is done with an intention, and there's an artist behind it. And you got to appreciate what the artist is. Good or bad, it's an interpretation, and it's either way his work of art. And beyond the statue is a sculpture. So you got to appreciate 2 things. I mean, you're looking at the statue and you appreciate it, but when you see the statue and it has an intention, a meaning, that's the meaning the sculptor and the artist behind it wants to get to you. So that means you like the statue and the art.
Tim talks about that a lot, about what it is that the sculptor is trying to, especially when you like when when you see these documentaries or the interviews when they tell you what they were thinking when they were sculpting it and everything, and you kind of answered one of these questions that I wanted to ask you. So you're not into customs. You don't have any custom pieces, or have you seen any that you might want to get? Or
well, here in Puerto Rico, to get a custom is like very difficult.
okay,
I've custom only have gotten like 6 portraits, just the portraits, and that bust. That's it. Because I'm like very skeptical and kind of scared because of the customer service.
right.
Even if you have communication now, after it, sometimes you ghost it, and the shipping. I mean, shipping here in Puerto Rico is kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's becoming a huge factor with the whole thing, and a lot of people are either getting out of the hobby or they just slowing down because the shipping and the taxes. You get hit with taxes big time too, or
well, taxes we got here the 11.1 we pay in taxes. So you don't see it when it's small, but when you buy like $3,000 guitar or amp, then you can feel it because you can get like 300 in taxes that you don't see.
Wow,
you don't see them.
Yeah. Are you getting to the point now with like space wise, where you maybe because some people they collect, they don't have all their pieces displayed, and you got stuff in boxes or you
No.
don't have it? Okay, good.
No, I got things in display always, nothing in boxes. And yeah, I'm falling out of space very soon.
Right.
But that is life. Nothing lasts forever. And we in Puerto Rico have a saying that it is todo cabe. That means everything fits. So you gotta learn how to play Jenga with your
For real.
and display them good. But at the end of the day, display them the way you like, not anybody else. I think we focus too much in what the other people say about your collection, how it looks. I mean, you have to have it. You gotta have it good. I mean, all these pieces are expensive, but in the end of the day, it's for you. You gotta sit down and enjoy what you see. And if you enjoy seeing clustered, there's some people like that. If you don't, there's some people like that too. So different tastes, different point of views, and you gotta learn to accept them and say, "Hey, okay, that's fine."
No, one last thing because we're running out of time.
Sure.
Something I always wondered because I always heard Red Titan talk about it. They were saying in like hotter climates, sometimes you have problems with the statues. Like sometimes, like say the lightsabers on the Star Wars pieces, sometimes they tend to wilt a little bit. Do you have that problem like where they any problem like climate wise with the heat or anything?
Well, thank God, no. Okay. This room that I have all the statues is like totally open.
Okay.
I got my statues in the wild, not close up because I don't like them having close up. Then what's the use? I don't know. I've never had any problem. Thank God. Thank God with any statue. I mean, I've never received a broken statue. None of my pieces gets warped. So I've been blessed in that way.
Good.
I see nightmares, people having them in state, and I'd be very discouraged and very hurt. But, if it happens, it happens. I mean, sometimes you gotta learn not to be complacent, but you gotta learn to accept things.
Right.
Sometimes things are what are. No matter how much you bitch about it, how much you gripe about it, how much it gives you a headache, some things it is what it is. So you accept it and you don't. And for all the people who are getting out of their collection, I think I don't know their financial problems or anything like that,
Mhm.
But I think like in the bottom, if you're a collector, you're a collector, and if you buy a piece and it gives you happiness, then it is what it is. If you by any means need to sell a piece, and you see the piece and you can really live uh, selling it, then by God, by go on, do it. I mean, I don't buy to sell. Everything I bought, I keep. I don't sell nothing whatsoever. So I'm not a hoarder, but you know, I don't buy. I buy what I like. So I don't buy something just to see what's all hype because I don't buy. I'm into hype. I buy things that I like. I study before I buy them. I mean, I see a lot of videos on unboxing, talk to a lot of people. I mean, I do some research before buying a piece. I don't buy it just for the hell of it.
I wish more people would be like you, my brother. Do a little research before you just dive in. Well, look, man, it's been a pleasure. And tell people in case they don't know where they can find you guys and watch your stream and link up with you.
You guys can see me in Turquoise. I'm in Turquoise 101 on Boss. I've been doing that for a year and a half with them. I'm part of their family. I'm with Cape Town Collector. I don't have a YouTube channel. I just do this for fun. I don't do this to get monetized. I don't do this just I do this because I really like it. I mean, you can message me at Puerto Rican Statue Collector, or my name is Dennis Perez. That's my name. It's easy to find, and you know, I will gladly answer any question or anything that I can try to help you guys. Because I mean, this community has embraced me, so I got to give back what they have given to me, and you know, if and like me, there are people who start without knowing, and if I can help somebody start in the right way, hell yeah, I'll help them anyway. That will save them a lot of money and headaches.
We got it before we sign out. From the back, they want to see your shirt before, yeah.
This shirt was in Halloween nights in.
Move to your right a little bit. Yeah, there you go.
Halloween nights in Universal Studio. If you haven't gone there, do it, please. You're gonna like it. For that small time, it makes you forget all your problems and all your things that are happening in real life, and it takes you to another place. So it gives you a little bit of peace, even if it's kind of hard. But I mean, it's do what you like and do things that make you forget all the problems that you pass day by day, so you can learn to appreciate everything better.
And I think that is the message we have had from this stream. Dennis, I appreciate you, man, and keep collecting and always be here. And thanks, man, for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
We'll catch you next time on Just Ask for a Friend. See you later, everybody.